Bonnie Blue and Rage Bait. You can't shame the shameless.
This program was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, my darlings. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Meeks, and today we are not simply watching a porn documentary. You're watching a woman weaponize outrage itself and sell it back to us at market price. Well, more accurately, I watched 1,000 Men and Me, the Bonnie Blue story, a documentary about gangs, balaclavas, and the kind of girl boss capitalism that makes the Vatican, TikTok, and your local PTA group chat combust simultaneously.
Do you think it's okay that men cheat on their wives with you?
100%.
Why?
Because women are lazy.
On paper, it's about a Derbyshire girl who went from NHS recruitment desk to multi-million-pound OnlyFans empire. But in practice, it's a case study in rage bait economics, the late capitalist career path where you don't just monetize desire, you monetize disgust. Bonnie Blue's documentary isn't just a chronicle of stunts. It's a masterclass in how to weaponize moral panic for market domination. To understand her success, you have to read the film as both a biography and a business case study, one where each scene is an act in the drama of outrage capitalism. Bonnie isn't selling sex. She's selling the public meltdown over her sex. Every pearl clutcher on Facebook, every moral crusader on breakfast television, they are all quite literally part of her marketing department. So grab your balaclava and your copy of The Society of the Spectacle, because today we're diving into the gangbang as growth strategy, the scandal as brand architecture, and the fantasy of escaping the 9-to-5 only to become the 24/7 spectacle.
No, we should stop. This isn't very nice. This is getting gossipy. This isn't very kind. Found out who can't hang. Found out who can't hang. I found out who can't hang. You can take the high road. Me, I'm taking the low road every day. I love to gossip. I love to stir the pot. I love to rile people up. Most people got 3 words to win them over. I got 6. You didn't hear this from me. God.
Part 1. Origin story, from NHS recruitment to algorithmic infamy. We meet Bonnie not in a dimly lit strip club or backstage at a porn shoot, but at the most mundane desk job imaginable. Finance recruitment for the NHS. She's 25, conventionally attractive, bored to death. The first capitalist beat drops here. She recognizes early that the security of a good job is a spiritual and financial dead end. In Debordian terms, her life is trapped in the mundane spectacle of everyday labor, where visibility is minimal and meaning is scarce. Bonnie sees that ordinary work offers neither excitement nor symbolic capital. She perceives the desk job as a site of alienation, the kind that Marx warned of, where labor produces nothing for the self but only reproduces the system. Her pivot to OnlyFans mirrors the influencer to millionaire pipeline we've seen in other niches, except Bonnie understands the overcrowded market problem. 2 million creators are selling sexual content. The barrier to entry is low. The barrier to virality, equally brutal, if not clinically impossible. The documentary shows her identifying a USP, unique selling proposition: free intercourse with the public, documented, raw, and built to inflame. This is a perfect illustration of what Boudreaux might call converting personal attributes, her beauty, charisma, and boldness, into symbolic and economic capital. From a platform capitalism perspective, Bonnie's move is a strategic exploitation of the attention economy. Outrage, transgression, and the scandal generate the emotional arousal that algorithms reward, creating non-linear visibility spikes that ordinary content can't achieve. By the time Bonnie leaves the NHS, she's not merely quitting a job. She's stepping into a moral and economic system she understands intimately. A platform-centered, divided, entitled moral economy where visibility, outrage, and spectacle are both currency and product. Given this, I would argue that her origin story is thus a case study in the evolution of work under late-stage capitalism, selfhood as performance, labor as spectacle, and attention as a marketable commodity. Part 2. 1,000-Man Gang, outrage as an acquisition funnel. The centerpiece of the documentary and of Bonnie's career is the 1,000-Man Gang stunt. It's not just about sex, it's a marketing event, disguised as a sexual record attempt. Preparation scenes, condoms, KY jelly, balaclavas read like a product launch logistics meeting. Media clips show her controversy seeding itself across news outlets and TikTok. Her own team openly calls the strategy for what it is: rage bait.
Controversy gets exposure.
I don't think I've gone young enough.
Yeah, I think she is a genius.
Everyone thinks she must be crazy or messed up or have past trauma or, you know, just a but she's a businesswoman.
A key aspect of Bonnie's business model is to rage bait.
winding people up with her TikToks. She bangs out around 200 a day.
I loved looking down when I did the world record and seeing how many men had wedding rings on. Like, I just loved knowing I was doing something that their wife should have done.
Don't feel guilty for doing something you deserved and you was owed.
She knows what gets people angry.
For a wife, keep scrolling.
She picks up on the terms that the media like to use and that they see, because the media sees the engagement, they push it, she takes from them.
I don't think I've gone young enough. Yeah, I want the most barely legal 18-year-old.
She took barely legal as a term from journalists.
I so many barely legals at spring break.
It gets traction, makes people more angry. Engagement drives engagement. I think generally the world has been so much more polarizing and she's kind of come at a good time for it. Yeah, she says some things that, like, if I didn't know her, I probably wouldn't like either.
From a Debordian perspective, this stunt transforms the act of sex into a mediated spectacle. The event exists as much for visibility as for pleasure, where the scandal itself is the commodity. Every costume, protocol, and procedural detail is staged for maximum circulation, making the act a fully performative event designed for the algorithmic gaze. Becker's moral entrepreneurs come into play as critics, outraged spouses, and tabloid commentators amplify her reach. Their condemnation is not incidental, it's essential to her business model. Each disgusted share, comment, or news clip functions as unpaid advertising, circulating her brand to audiences who would never voluntarily engage with adult content. In platform capitalism, outrage literally drives distribution. Boudreaux's framework of symbolic capital helps explain the genius behind her exclusionary targeting. Bonnie deliberately alienates certain audiences. They're not my target audience.
So you don't mind offending women?
No, and a lot of the times when I'll push into the hate, I know the more women that chat about me, the more husbands that are going to search my name. The more they're talking to me in their household, the more their sons are going to go to their bedroom and search me. So I'm happy to the women because they're not my target audience.
While accruing legitimacy and attention within her chosen niche, polarity becomes a form of cultural authority. Her audience, both fans and detractors, reinforces her position as the unignorable provocateur. Finally, in attention economy terms, polarization equals reach, and reach equals revenue.
My nephew's 18. He's still a child.
I'll send him to me then.
No, I'd absolutely never do that.
Hopefully I'll find him in my queue one day.
If my son was one of those, and
How old's your son?
He's 18. I'd fucking...
Just my type.
Each moral panic she engineers produces a measurable spike in engagement, subscriptions, and algorithmic lift.
The more people that are obsessed with me, the more it drives traffic.
The stunt is not simply sensationalism. It is a meticulously engineered funnel that converts outrage into tangible economic outcomes, exemplifying late-stage capitalism's convergence of the spectacle, labor, and emotion as currency. Part 3. Historical echoes, rage bait throughout the ages. In between the chaos, the documentary situates Bonnie in a long lineage of scandal-based entrepreneurship. Like Mae West in the 1930s, she plays the obscene woman role with a wink. Like Josephine Baker in the 1920s, she uses the exoticization of taboo to dominate headlines. Like Madonna in the 80s, she treats condemnation as proof of cultural relevance. But the stakes are higher in the 2020s. Bonnie is operating in an algorithmic content economy where outrage travels faster, burns hotter, and monetizes instantly. Historical figures needed weeks of scandal to fill theaters. Bonnie can convert an angry TikTok comment section into $50,000 in new subscriptions before breakfast. From a Zabofian lens, the age of surveillance capitalism, her carefully staged scandals are data streams for platforms, generating engagement that algorithms monetize and amplify. Sarah Ahmed's theory of effect shows how emotions like disgust circulate socially, creating sticky networks of attention. Bonnie's haters become unpaid distributors, their anger converted into revenue. Lipatevsky's hypermodernity frames her success as a reflection of contemporary obsession with transgression and spectacle. Scandal is no longer a side effect, it is the primary engine of consumption. Meanwhile, Deborah Satz's market ethics highlight the tension she navigates between platform rules, social norms, and the capitalist imperative to maximize reach. Bonnie doesn't merely inherit the legacy of scandalous performers, she accelerates it. By marring transgression with real-time algorithmic distribution, she transforms outrage into a self-sustaining revenue stream. In the 2020s, attention markets reward both audacity and operational intelligence, and Bonnie Blue has proven she has both in spades. Part 4. Platform dependence and the escalation trap. The second half of the documentary exposes the fragility of Bonnie's business model. OnlyFans bans her from selling certain content. Visa refuses to process payments for her most controversial videos. Suddenly, the very extremity that made her rich in the first place threatens her survival. From a platform capitalism perspective, see Tarleton Gillespie, this is a classic algorithmic double bind. Platforms reward outrage with reach, but remain dependent on corporate payment infrastructures that impose sudden ceilings on monetization. Bonnie's rise is built on friction. Each scandal creates engagement, but that same friction is policed by rules she does not control. The documentary dramatizes this as a narrative of escalation. Her stunts move from gangbangs to petting zoo spectacles, threading a precarious needle between algorithmic amplification and financial extinction. Becker's moral entrepreneurs resurface here as indirect regulators. Critics, regulators, and moral watchdogs amplify the stakes of each stunt. The platform's moderation and payment rules are effectively moral judgments coded into software, turning extra legal infrastructure into gatekeepers of what content is acceptable. Bonnie's genius lies in choreographing events that maximize outrage while remaining narratively survivable, but the structural volatility ensures she must always escalate to maintain reach. From a Zabofian lens, surveillance capitalism is unforgiving. Her actions produce predictable engagement data, but the moment a payment processor flags the behavior as high risk, the same data that made her rich in the first place triggers her deplatforming. Satz's moral market framework underscores the ethical tension. Creators are caught between the profit logic of engagement, maximizing content, and the corporate imposed boundaries of legality and risk mitigation. In short, Bonnie's career illustrates the structural precarity of rage-bait capitalism. Platforms demand scandal for engagement, but institutionalized payment and moderation systems impose hard ceilings. The algorithm may love outrage, but the infrastructure of late capitalism does not. Her business model thrives on attention, but that attention is leased, not owned. A perpetual escalation trap where audacity is both the engine of profit and the risk of collapse. Part 5. The Capitalist Mirage. The closing beats of the documentary show Bonnie moving to a smaller platform, Fansly, still convinced she'll be the biggest name in porn ever. She is rich, yes, but also isolated, surveilled, and under constant threat of cancellation. Her family lives on her payroll.
No, if you could earn £1 million in a month, your morals would soon change and you'd get your bits out. I don't care what people say. They all say they've got all these high morals, but no way, not for £1 million a month. Would it be something that I chose for her to do? No. I was really, really shocked. But now, would I want her doing anything else? No, not at all. All you want is for your kids to be happy, and she is happy. You know, she's got no daddy issues, she's not been abused, and all these things that people insist that must have happened to her.
When Bonnie began to make big money, she put all her family on the payroll so they could give up their day jobs.
But she can't even go out in public without risk. From a Debordian perspective, Bonnie has not escaped the spectacle. She has become it. The cubicle of her NHS job has been replaced by a 24/7 performance of selfhood, where her life, body, and scandal are simultaneously product, marketing department, and content. She inhabits a hypermodern condition, Lipatevsky, where self-expression and entrepreneurial labor collapse into one continuous precarious spectacle. Zuboff's surveillance capitalism reminds us that every interaction, comment, or repost is mined for data, feeding algorithms that dictate both visibility and monetization. Even success is mediated by platform rules and payment infrastructure, creating a winner-take-most environment in which rarity of virality combined with extreme operational demands. The same system that rewards audacity punishes overreach. Bonnie's freedom is conditional, contingent on navigating platform governance, public outrage, and the unpredictable moral economy of attention. In effect, the promise of escaping the 9-to-5 cubicle becomes a mirage. She's traded the monotony of a desk for the 24-hour surveillance of her own brand. Her story illustrates the dark elegance of late-stage capitalism. It dangles the dream of self-sovereign entrepreneurship, but the market is unforgiving. Attention is scarce, outrage is currency, and irrelevance is bankruptcy. Bonnie Blue may have monetized scandal brilliantly, but she also embodies the human cost of turning yourself into both product and platform. Capitalist dream is real, but it's a cage whose bars are algorithmic and moral, simultaneously golden and inescapable. But why does it matter? Bonnie Blue is not just an OnlyFans creator. She is a self-engineered viral provocation machine, a one-woman marketing department whose core product is not just her body, but the outrage it provokes. She has turned rage bait into a recognizable personal brand, not by accident, through an explicit, repeatable strategy.
Good. That's what I wanted.
For the controversy?
Yeah.
And
they fell into my trap.
For the people who say that...
I wanted everybody's attention.
Identify the phrases, visuals, and situations most likely to trigger moral panic. Barely legal, husbands with wedding rings, the 1,000-man gangbang. Deploy them internationally and then convert both fans and haters into paying customers. In today's attention economy, the difference is meaningless. Bonnie's genius lies in understanding that moral condemnation is free advertising. Every furious Facebook share, algorithmically amplified comment, or morning TV segment is an unpaid media buy. Rage bait is historical, not new. The tactic of monetizing outrage is far from a TikTok era invention. History is full of figures and phenomena who weaponized scandal to capture attention. 19th century freak shows thrived on shocking polite society. Yellow journalism sold papers through moral panic headlines. Josephine Baker's banana skirt and Mae West's obscene plays used sexuality as both lure and lightning rod. And Madonna's Like a Prayer video turned the Vatican condemnation into MTV domination. The formula is simple and enduring. 1. Cross a social or moral line. 2. Invite establishment backlash. 3. Convert scandal into brand equity. What has changed is the delivery system. The internet automates. Step 2. You no longer need the Pope or the mayor to denounce you. TikTok's comment section will do it instantly at scale. Bonnie's rise is inseparable from timing. She operates in a media ecosystem where attention is currency, algorithms reward high engagement content, and outrage generates the highest engagement per exposure. Sex work is semi-normalized but still taboo. The sweet spot makes her endlessly clickable. Platform capitalism thrives on polarization. Platforms don't care whether the comments say, "You're a queen" or "You're disgusting," only that there are comments. Her career trajectory from NHS recruitment desk to millionaire porn provocateur is a parable of late-stage capitalism. Traditional jobs often feel dead-end and spiritually vacant. The internet offers the seductive alternative of self-branding, autonomy, and potential virality. But the opportunity is rare and highly gendered. It favors conventionally attractive, young, media-savvy individuals. For every Bonnie Blue, thousands of hopeful creators grind endlessly with no payoff. Rage-bait capitalism contains an inherent instability. Outrage inflation. Once you build an audience by pushing boundaries, sustaining it requires escalation. A 1,000-man gang must be followed by something even more extreme. Audience tolerance rises and creators must keep escalating until platforms, payment processors, or public opinion oppose limits. Bonnie's bans from OnlyFans and visa restrictions illustrate this danger. The very transgressiveness that fuels growth can also collapse a business overnight. The documentary makes clear how every plot beat functions as an engineered outrage funnel. Bonnie's unofficial record attempt, 1,600 condoms, 50 balaclavas, 20 tubes of lube, ID checks, is deliberately theatrical. Every detail is optimized for virality. A round number, a central London location, masks for anonymity, and formal compliance protocols. The stunt generates press, ready spectacle, narrative tension, and revenue projected at upwards of $500,000 for the content alone. Her core niche, with 18-year-olds, virgins, and students, sits at the boundary between lawful and socially inflammatory. Predictable backlash amplifies recognizability. Outrage is oxygen. Platform compliance as performance. Consent forms, condoms, and ID checks function as legal shields, PR props, and plot points. Compliance is performative, letting extreme acts posture as regulated while critics decry lawlessness. OnlyFans bans her content, Visa enforces restrictions, and she pivots to Fansly. Each ban becomes a marketing opportunity, turning platform limits into narrative tension and subscriber funneling. Planned collaborations with figures like Andrew Tate amplify rage bait.
The reason I'm proud of Bonnie, and I am genuinely proud of you, I like Bonnie. I like what she's doing.
Are you not like contradicting yourself here?
In what way?
Well, you're proud of her sleeping with 1,057 guys, but women should be virgins.
No, the social contract, the construct of society that made family function was women were obedient virgins and they found a man who provided for them and they listened to that man. Women have then said, we don't like the patriarchy. We're tired of being provided for. We're tired of being taken care of. We don't want to listen to anybody. We want to make our own decisions. That was women and feminism that ended the traditional family unit. And now women can make their own decisions. So I'm glad that Bonnie's making her own decision. Yeah, I'm not here to tell you not to do it.
Two discursive lightning rods collide to multiply search volume, hostile engagement, and positioning for a new platform launch. Bonnie's strategy illustrates how contemporary attention economies operate. Platforms reward high arousal content, and outrage reliably triggers this arousal. Moral entrepreneurs, critics, tabloids, reactive creators become unpaid media distributors. Payment processors function as shadow censors. Visa or OnlyFans policy changes can instantly shift the ceiling of sexual commerce. Success is precarious. Constant escalation is required to sustain relevance while avoiding total collapse. Her story dramatizes the personal and operational costs, isolation, safety, fears, bodily labor, and sudden income cliffs. Another element that I find interesting is how attractive attractive creators disproportionately benefit because platforms reward dominant beauty schemas. I would also argue that Bonnie's career is an evolution of pretty privilege and rage bait and adult content. Bonnie's success relies on engineered extremity with guardrails, maximum headline potential while remaining narratively survivable. Rage harvesting across channels, redundancy and platform proliferation ensure reports amplify rather than suppress reach. Serial spectacles thread regulatory needles and sustain audience curiosity. Virality is rare, not because creators lack courage, but because few can sustain this operational, legal, and social escalation while surviving its bodily and psychological toll.
Last sort of 5-6 days, I have been like bedbound with flu. But yeah, I've never had such bad flu in my life. I haven't even been able to do TikToks or any Instagram posts or anything like that.
What would you guys... Oh! Oh! That's so disgusting!
Motion drives attention, attention drives revenue. Work becomes spectacle. The fantasy of escaping the 9-to-5 requires constant self-performance. Platforms and payment processors serve as gatekeepers, shaping the limits of content. Bonnie's career demonstrates cruel optimism in creator form. The dream of virality exists alongside winner-take-most mathematics and personal risk. Millions attempt, few succeed, many burn out. Hate as commodity. Bonnie Blue doesn't just tolerate hate, she requires it. Her spikes in traffic consistently coincide with scandal, not content quality. Fans pay, haters share. Platforms treat both equally. In this moral economy, hate is her marketing budget. Historically, Bonnie walks the same tightrope as Mae West, Madonna, and Howard Stern. Their relevance depended on courting condemnation. For Bonnie, hate is the engine of her brand. The real danger isn't cancellation, it's indifference. Outrage must be cultivated and escalated, managed like a 24-hour performance. Her haters form a closed-loop supply chain. Every disgusted share, stitch, or comment is an unpaid ad buy. In the attention economy, morality accelerates content and disgust is capital. Conclusion: Bonnie Blue's documentary isn't just about porn. It's about a woman who understood that capitalism has entered its rage bait phase, where the fastest route to market dominance is to make yourself impossible to ignore. She isn't simply a sex worker, she's a provocateur in the tradition of Barnum and West, updated for the TikTok age. Her success reveals both the potential and the poison of the current system. In an economy where attention is currency, outrage is the highest yield investment, but it's also the most volatile. Bonnie's career is a case study in what happens when a person becomes the scandal and the scandal becomes the business. Bonnie Blue isn't just monetizing desire, she's monetizing the public meltdown over desire itself. Her product is sex, yes, but her distribution is outrage. Every scandal, every moral panic, every furious comment is fuel for her algorithmic engine. History shows us that this isn't new. Barnum, Mae West, Madonna, Howard Stern all thrived because the establishment couldn't stop talking about them. What is new is the platform economy, where outrage is algorithmically rewarded. Payment schemes can gatekeep content, and attention has become a high-stakes commodity. Her career is a study in both the potential and poison of contemporary capitalism. Outrage is the highest yield investment in the attention economy, but it's volatile and demanding. Escalate too far, and platforms or regulators cut your power. At the moment, Bonnie's found the sweet spot, balancing extremity with operational savvy, platform compliance with theatrical risk, and fans with haters alike. Her genius is in turning the attention economy's most dangerous currency, disgust, into recurring revenue. In the process, she becomes both the capitalist dream and the capitalist warning.
I actually judge them blokes that are queuing up to do it more.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
You know what? Everyone wants to blame the woman, but there's too many guys willing to pay for this shit.
Yeah. Stand in a queue to pork some girl for 2 minutes. You crazy?
Surely we can't be this hungry. We cannot be this hungry.
To queue up and be like, oh yeah, bro, I'm number 34.
The fantasy of escape exists, but only for those willing to make themselves impossible to ignore. And that's the paradox of Bonnie Blue. In a world where virality is both gold and guillotine, she's the perfect embodiment of rage-bait capitalism. She reminds us that in today's attention economy, it's not enough to be talented or beautiful. You have to be unignorable. If the scandal isn't part of the product, you're just another creator lost in the scroll. Thanks for tuning into Studio Meeks. That subscribe button, ring the bell, and share this with someone who needs a reminder that in late-stage capitalism, hate can be just as profitable as love. Until next time, remember, the spectacle never sleeps, and neither do we. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, Gilly's eating his shrimp, and he's trying to recover mentally from watching the Bonnie Blue documentary. Thank you for subscribing. Gilly and I are so happy to have 150 subscribers as of the time I'm filming this. Gilly, do you have anything to say to the people? He wants more shrimp. See you in the next one, sweet baby angels.